morning, students. Here 7th class science taught to you by Mrs. Jyotsna Shastri. We are here again to learn next part of the chapter 1, nutrition in plants. As we have discussed the nutrition in autotrophic organisms, nutrition in autotrophic organisms is done by the method called photosynthesis. That we have done all the details of photosynthesis in the previous lecture. Now here today we are going to discuss what is heterotrophic nutrition and what are heterotrophic plants. Heterotrophic nutrition is a mode of nutrition in which the organisms derive, procure or obtain food from the surrounding sources, from their surroundings. Why do they obtain nutrition from the surrounding sources? Two things are there. Because they cannot manufacture their food by taking inorganic substances from the surrounding, unlike autotrophic plants, because they do not have chlorophyll pigment that is responsible for photosynthesis. So they cannot manufacture food on their own. Hence, they derive, procure, obtain nutrition from the surrounding, and they are called as heterotrophic organisms, or they are called heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. The meaning, as I told earlier, hetero means other and trophs means nourishment. Okay, nourishment. So they obtain food from other sources. That's why they are known as heterotrophic organisms, and mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. So different organisms take nutrition by different methods. On that basis, heterotrophic plants are divided into 4 categories. Okay. So, organisms, they take nutrition directly from the host, ready-made food that they are known as. So, there are 4 types of parasitic, then insectivorous, then symbiotic, and saprophytic. These are the 4 types of plants. They take nutrition from other sources. Okay, they cannot manufacture. Okay, so here we discuss one by one parasitic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants, and saprophytic plants. So in all there are 4 types of heterotrophic plants. First we discuss the parasitic. Parasitic, para means other, sites. Parasite means other locations they take. They stay on other locations and derive nutrition. So first is a parasite. Para means other location, site means location. Okay. So these organisms, they take nutrition from the other organisms that are already manufacturing food. That means the green plants. They just grow over them and take ready-made food from them. All through the life they take the food from them. So they take food from other sources, parasites. And the food they take from the plant that plant is known as the host plant. And on the host plant, this parasite is living on. Okay, so what are parasitic plants? Parasitic plants are those plants, they take nutrition from other plants. They grow on other plants and derive ready-made food from them. Okay, now we see examples. Here the host plant is always suffering and the parasite is always benefited because it is getting ready-made food. Now examples are Cuscuta. In Hindi it is called dodder. Okay. Another is mistletoe. This is actually known as a partial parasite. I'll tell you why this partial parasite. Dodder is a complete parasite. Yellow thin stem grows over other plants, and then they get coiled around the stem of the host plant and enter their hostorium in the plant, like this. This is the stem, and then this gets coiled around and they insert, suppose this is the stem, so they insert their hostorium inside, and this is how then they absorb the material from the host. This is the plant. This is host plant and this is a parasite, dodder, and this is how they absorb food. Okay. Now mistletoe, they grow on the other plants, green plants. They only take water and minerals. Carbon dioxide they can take from the atmosphere that and prepare their own food. But being weak plants, they cannot absorb water and conduct it to the leaves. They take from other strong green plants. That's why they are called as parasite, but they are partial parasite because they are not taking ready-made food. They are taking only water and minerals. So this is about parasitic plants. Now we know insectivorous plants. What are insectivorous? Insectivorous plants are insect-eating plants. As the name itself suggests, insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are the plants that eat insects, that feed on insects. Why do they feed on insects? Because they have to take additional amount of nitrogen for their growth and development of the body. They manufacture food, but they cannot manufacture that much amount, so they, to fulfill the additional amount of nitrogen, they eat insects. There are examples. Pitcher plant, examples, pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. As you see in your book, Venus flytrap. Pitcher plant, there is a pitcher-like, pitcher means a pot-like structure. Okay, the leaf gets modified and then this is very well attached to the plant stem. Okay, and they have got a lid, and lid has got a very sticky and attractive red color. Then insects get attracted to this and they have got bristles and a liquid inside. As soon as the insect comes close to this mouth, gets entered, this lid gets closed and the insect is inside. Then this insect is digested and absorbed by the plants. This is in the pitcher plant. Venus flytrap has got a hinged leaf. Hinged leaf means there are two sides and they have got their fringe open into finger-like projections. Okay, and they also have got a very sticky and very shiny surface. The insects get attracted and they come in the fringe of the leaf. As soon as the insect enters here, these fringe-like structures interlocked. As soon as the insect comes here, it snaps shut, and the interlocked fringe prevents insect from escaping. And then again the same process, digestive juices are secreted and they are taken by the plant. This is how Venus flytrap and pitcher plant take nutrition by the process of catching insects. Okay, and that method is known as insectivorous. Okay, now the next category is symbiotic. Organisms living in association with each other. There, that is known as the symbiotic. Sym means together. Symbiotic. Symbiotic plants or nutrition. Sym means mutual. Bio means living. Okay. Two plants live together and they mutually benefit each other. That association is known as symbiotic association. Plants remain in association, and what for? They benefit each other. Benefit each other. What type of association it is? That both plants and animal, both the plants benefit each other. Where in parasite we saw host is always suffering and guest parasite is always enjoying the material, always flourishing on the host. Host, sometimes the host dies because the whole of the food is taken up by the parasite. But here in symbiotic association, the organisms are in the mutually benefiting status. Okay. Now, example. There are two examples of symbiotic association. Number one is the lichens. Some pronounce it lichens. Symbiotic plants. So, example, lichen. As I said, two organisms remain in association. So, here algae, one alga and one fungus. They remain in association and they form a lichen. Okay. Fungal colony, algal colony is in the center. Manufacturing food. And to manufacture food, they need raw materials. Raw materials are supplied by the surrounding fungal colony. Okay. These fungi, these fungus absorb carbon dioxide, water and supply to algae. Algae in return gives food to fungi. So this is mutually benefiting association. Algae manufacturing food, providing to fungi. Fungi in return absorbing minerals, water, carbon dioxide and also providing shelter to algal colony. That is why this association is known as symbiotic association and the nutrition is known as symbiotic nutrition. Another example is there, the leguminous plants. The roots of the leguminous plants have the bacteria residing in their roots. If you pluck a pea plant and look at its roots, you will find that roots are swollen, beaded roots. These beads actually contain the bacteria. These bacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. Okay, and these plants, as we know, the pulses provide nitrogenous substances, protein. So they need additional amount of nitrogen. That is provided by the bacteria present in the root nodules of the plant. They fix atmospheric nitrogen and then it is made available to the plant, and through the plant it goes to the leaves and then the plants grow. In return, the leguminous plants, the pea plant or other leguminous plant like bean plants, all pulses, they provide shelter and nutrients to these residing bacteria. This is known as symbiotic association in leguminous plants. The last type of nutrition is saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic, so there are saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic means organism feeding on dead and decaying organic matter. Dead and decaying organic matter. So these organisms, examples are yeast, mucor, mushrooms, they all fall in one category, that is fungi, and other decomposers. They depend on these dead and decaying. Sapro means dead and decaying organic matter. Organisms fall on the organic matter. This is organic matter. Say for example, dead skin of an animal or a fallen leaf or some dried and dead parts of the plant or animal excreta, whatever, found in the soil. Damp area, wooden log, okay, wet wooden log, all these materials are taken up by the saprophytes. How? First of all, the organism applies digestive enzymes. Then this material, food material, which is here, organic material, this gets digested. Here on the surface only it gets digested. And then it is absorbed. By the organism. So we know how saprophytic organism take nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. So here we have discussed the 4 types of nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition in plants: parasitic, insectivorous, saprophytic and symbiotic. The last topic of the chapter is the replenishment of the nutrients. Replenishment. Replenishment means renewing of nutrients in the soil. Okay. As we know, a plant gets nutrition from the this is one plant. This gets the nutrition from the soil. Like that, many plants are growing in a crop field or in the soil. The nutrients are constantly taken by the roots and absorbed by the plant to grow, develop body parts and all. So a continuous supply from the soil, so that brings depletion of minerals in the soil. Because plants taking carbon dioxide from air, okay, but nitrogen, calcium, magnesium and other phosphorus from the soil. Constantly they are taken. So depletion of minerals. How can we renew and re-add materials in the soil? There are two methods. First method, as I told just now, symbiotic relationship. Pea plants, when they have bacteria in their roots, when we grow pea plants or we put pea plants, roots of the pea plants in the field, they fix atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. This is the first method. Another thing, addition of chemical fertilizers, artificial fertilizer or synthetic fertilizers are being added in the soil. And this is how replenishment, re-adding, renewing of minerals in the soil takes place, so that plants can grow healthy and proper. That's all for today and have a nice day.